guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm not going to talk about anything regarding traveling. Usually I post travel content, but since quarantine is here and due to this lockdown situation, we are not going out and I'm not traveling anymore. So I decided to utilize this time to create content that is not related to traveling, but it's something still useful, which most of the people want to know about. So today I'm going to answer the most asked questions that people ask me, and since these questions have been repetitive, I've been asked these questions time and again by multiple people, and I've answered them individually. I've also tried to answer them through my stories, but apparently I think it has not been that convenient. So why not make a video about all the questions that people usually ask, instead of duplicating all the messages again and again and saying the same thing to everyone, because it's kind of hard for me physically to reply everyone, because sometimes some messages are missed out, sometimes you just miss someone, so it's better that the information is available for everyone. So let's move on to the first question. The first question that I want to address is about studying abroad, and specifically in Germany. So I'm usually asked about how you can come to Germany to study, how is the study abroad process, what is the admission process, how much is the fee, how much is the time, how to apply for the visa. So what I really want to say is, guys, I have not studied in Germany, so I have no idea how this is done. I don't want to give false information to anyone or to mislead someone. So if you ask me, it's unfair for the person who's seeking information, because most of the time I understand that, for instance, I would wanted to study abroad. I would really like to be guided by someone. So if somebody is guiding me in the wrong direction, it's not fair for me. It's going to waste a lot of time. That's why what I usually recommend is to look for the relevant information on the university portals, and for the visa, check with the embassy, because the embassy's website has everything, and exactly the information that is there, that can be more helpful rather than me telling you something that I know from my experience or I know from maybe someone else. So I think it's better that you research yourself, or maybe for me what works always is write to them, like whoever you want to talk to. Like for instance, if I want to go for a university, I want to study at a university, the best thing what I would do personally is I'm going to write an email to the student council or the admissions office and ask them for the queries that I have. And it's the same for the embassy. Actually, I've never written anything for the embassy because I'm not sure if they reply you back with a certain information that you need. But what I do know is that is available on their website is usually authentic and usually very helpful, because it's very detailed. Because I remember when I was applying for the visa to come to Germany, and all the information was there, what documents I need, how I can apply for it. So it was pretty much helpful for me, the information that was there already on the website. So I think that's what you can look for. So I'm gonna also post the link in the not the comment section but the description below, because I happen to know about that scholarships, because a lot of people ask me about the scholarships as well. So I know about that, but I'm not sure how they work, how you get the scholarship. So you can look into this link and you can actually see how you can apply for a scholarship for studying in Germany. That's pretty much about studying. The second question that I'm asked is usually, which discipline should I go for? Which degree program should I pursue? What are the good study options for me? Or which field has a good scope? So my answer to that question is that from my particular experience, a lot of fields and a lot of degree programs offer a lot of jobs. There's good scope for everything in a way, right? But it all comes down to the fact that what you want to study, what you are interested in. So if you talk about tech, there's a lot of things in tech. There's automotive, web development, there's also data science, there's artificial intelligence, machine learning. So there are a lot of disciplines that you can actually pursue, and all of them are equally important. So it basically comes down to the fact that what you are actually interested in, not what I recommend you to do, because what I will recommend you is basically according to my area of interest, my area of expertise. It's not going to be according to what interests you the most. So what I would say, that this question, that this particular topic is something that you need to address. No one else can address it for you. So you need to take a moment, you need to ask yourself, what is that one job that you really want? Second, what is that one thing that makes you happy? Like if you talk about your professional life, what are those goals that you want to achieve, and where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And the third thing that you need to figure out, that okay, you need to explore it, that I think this is what I would like to do. Start doing it. If you don't like it, you can always shift in tech, and you can always find ways to, make a move in a way. So for instance, giving you an example, something that personally works for me basically is, you find a dream job. You look for that perfect job that you really want. For instance, let's say I want to work in Google. So I will look for the opportunity Google has, right? Then go to the job descriptions that they have on their platform, and then see, okay, these are the skills I really need to get a job in here. Then I will work on those skills. So this is also a way to figure out what you should be doing and you need to do. So the question that is asked about what is the scope of a certain field, the correct answer to that is to figure out what are the jobs available for that particular field, and what are the skills that you need for that particular field according to the job description. Because I feel like those job descriptions are a perfect checklist, because there you have all the skills that you actually need, and in a way they are what you should be pursuing, right? So this is the answer to all the study abroad questions or study related questions. Now what I want to address, the third part, is about working abroad, or specifically in Germany. A lot of people ask me how they can come to Germany for work. A couple of months ago, I think last year, it's been a year I guess. So last year I had a podcast with Munib, MR Vlogs. A lot of people know him, and a lot of people usually watch that podcast and they come then asking regarding different questions. Before I say anything, I just want to say one thing, that whatever worked for one person might not work for the second person. Whatever might work for you might not have worked for me, and whatever worked for me might not work for you. You know what I'm trying to say? Because I'm trying to make a point here. I hope that you get the point, because I think this is a very important piece of information, not information, advice that I usually give people, because I personally believe that it's a difference of situations, or there are multiple factors that affect people's life in a different way, or your career paths in a different way. For instance, where maybe I am in 3 years, it might take you 1 year to get here. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's different, and there are different factors and different situations that affect this whole process of a career path, because I personally believe that every person has a different career path, and there's no hard to fast rule that okay, if I can be a CEO in 30, you cannot be a CEO before 30. There's no hard and fast rule for that. I also want to address the podcast that I had with Munib. It was a year ago, and things were different a year ago, and a lot has changed within a year, right? So back then, one of the things that I said was that you can survive without German as well. Yes, you can, which is partially true, but if you want to, for me personally, I still don't need German, because I work in a multinational company and everything is in English. Everybody speaks English. Life is perfect in a way. In Berlin, it's international, so everyone speaks English in Berlin as well. But if you want to go live somewhere outside Berlin, then you basically need German. So you can survive, yes, but if you really want to integrate into the German culture, if you really want to integrate in Germany, you do need the German language. So for me, for instance, I have started to learn my German language because I had time. Before that, I did not have time to learn, so I was postponing it. But eventually, one day you have to learn the language where you're living, right? So I would say language is important, but it's not necessary in a way, but still it's very important. So for instance, whenever it comes down to the fact that I have to do something which is bureaucratic, I have to go to the government offices, I need to speak German because I cannot communicate with everyone. Not necessary that every time you go to the government office, somebody is sitting there who might speak English, because not every time that happens. I have been lucky a few times. I find people who speak English or who are very cooperative, but at the same time, there have been moments where they don't understand English and I don't understand German, so it has been an issue. Not really somehow we both managed, but if I look at myself, I felt embarrassed because I live in this country and I don't speak the language, which is very unfair because, dude, you are living here and you expect someone else to speak a foreign language. You should not, right? So So the answer to a question that people usually ask me, that do you really need German to survive? You don't really need German to survive. You can still survive if you speak English, but you still need German. You need to learn German because if you want to do like day-to-day tasks. Because I sometimes feel handicapped because of the language barriers. I really want to do a lot of things, but I cannot do most of those things because I'm like, oh, I need to find someone who can translate. So that's the very common issue that we face if you don't speak the language. Survival is not an issue. So, third question, people usually ask how they can find a job while being in Pakistan and finding a job in Germany. About that, there are actually two ways you can come to Germany and work in Germany. One, I don't have personally any experience about, but I've heard about it, so I think it's nice to explore this option. So you can, I think it's called the job seekers visa. You can also check it with the embassy from your respective city or your country if somebody else out from outside Pakistan is watching. So you can check with the embassy what kind of a visa they're offering, if they're offering job seeker visa or not. If they are, then check with the embassy what are the requirements and how you can apply for it and everything. But what I know a little about, I know that I think it's very risky, because for that you come to Germany for 6 months, and if you find a job you stay. If you don't find a job you have to go back. So it's like, if you don't find a job, then it's a very risky and it's waste of money and energy and time. So the second way is to actually find a job, and then once you have a job, obviously you will come here. But it's not as easy as it seems, because what usually people, like, for instance, I have received messages and people are like, oh, I have applied for so many jobs, but I did not get to I did not even get interviewed, or I did not even get any single reply from them. Guys, it's not easy. So for instance, I feel like you apply for 100 jobs, you only get reply to 1. That's the ratio. So the thing is that when you're applying from a country where you need a visa to get to another country, then you need to get that visa sponsored. So for instance, if you have to come to Germany, somebody, like whoever is hiring you in Germany, has to sponsor your visa so that you can come from Pakistan to Germany. Not all the companies are doing that. There are a few companies who actually do that, and that's why they consider people from overseas. By overseas I mean from other countries, India or Pakistan, let's say. So that's how it is basically. So for instance, if a company is not interested in hiring someone from Pakistan, they will never review your CV, because for instance, if I'm the hiring manager, I will not go through a CV and waste my time where I'm not even going to hire someone from that country. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happens most of the time as well, if you don't get a reply. But also, it's again worth a shot. I'm not saying that you should not try applying for jobs. So my recommendation is to look for jobs on LinkedIn or Glassdoor. I will leave the names in the description below so you can actually apply for jobs. So for the visa, you need to go to the website and find the details there. For the work visa, basically, there are not any specific documents. A specific person can tell you that if you have them, your process will be faster. There's no such thing like that. Basically, if you have all the documents that they have required, there are no chances that they're going to delay the process. The process won't be delayed, but it's only delayed when you don't have the required documents. You don't have the complete set of documents that they require from you. And that's mostly the case from my experience. And one thing I would really like to mention or include in this video, which is that sometimes, or most of the time, even I as a person never thought that details matter, that people think that it's a matter of months or it's a matter of days that you just get everything, you get a job and you are here. No. We skip details because we think that they're not important, but actually they're very important. So there are no shortcuts, as I keep mentioning every time I tell people that, guys, there is no shortcut. You need to get a degree if you need to get a job. You need to study if you need to get a degree. You need to get good grades if you want to get into a good university. These are the rules. So if you're like, I can bend or skip one rule and move on, jump to the next, you can't, because there's a process for everything. I'm saying all this because I receive messages from people asking for things that are very unreasonable, in a way that if you have not finished high school, then you say how you can get a job. Guys, you are still in a high school, you haven't finished it. How do you expect to get a job? Because the first thing that you need for a job is a bachelor's degree, which is the lowest degree. So even if you don't even have that degree, how do you expect me to answer that question for you? I can't. I cannot help you. I cannot get you here. I'm not a consultant or a recruiter or a visa processor, whatever the person, visa consultant. So because it's hard, it's not possible. You need to study to get somewhere. So if you think that you're going to skip the studying part and you can just get a job and get out of there, it's not happening. Trust me. So everything takes time and patience. If you think that things are gonna be done as soon as possible, there's no as soon as possible. You need to keep trying, keep applying, keep looking for things, and eventually something will happen. So like for instance, for me, getting a single appointment itself, I had to wait for 4 months. It was not just like a normal wait, it was horrible. And by horrible I mean I was checking for appointments every single day, day in, day out, waking up in the middle of the night, refreshing the page for appointments. Maybe there is something, maybe. And a lot of times, multiple times, has happened to me that there was an appointment. By the time I was going to, book that appointment, it was gone. So it's like something snatching something away from your hand. That's how it feels. So it took me 4 months to actually get a single appointment at the embassy to apply for the visa itself. It's like a lot of work. So it was to an extent that my mom was like, give up already. You're not gonna get anything. Anyways, you're not gonna get the visa. Why are you even trying? So it's like, no, I'm gonna get it. I'm just gonna go get it. I don't care how long it takes, how long I have to wait. I'm gonna get the appointment. I'm gonna get the visa and I'm gonna go. So that's how it was for me. So it's never easy. Anything that you want in life, it's never easy. You just need to keep trying and keep working for it. And if something is not working for you, then figure something else out. But it's something that you yourself need to put in effort. It's not something that someone will tell you something and you're gonna get it, because that's not how it works. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I also hope that I was able to answer most of the questions that you guys asked from me, and I hope this whole video was useful for you. If it was, let me know in the comments below. If it wasn't, even then let me know because I just want to know. And if you have any more questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. But guys, avoid questions that have already been answered in the videos because sometimes most of the time the questions are duplicated and I have already answered them, addressed them at certain point before. So if you like the video, subscribe to my channel and I'll be posting more videos answering different questions, addressing different topics, and talking about random stuff, I would say. Have a nice day. See you in the next video. Bye.